Hit and go live. All right,
Awesome.
what's up, everybody? How's it going, MEC? We got one more episode for the Groups for Profit Summit. Super, super hype. Got Kachi Sarmiento on tonight, and we're going to be talking about how to scale a group program so you don't get burnt out as a coach or a service provider, and plenty of other stuff. So feel free to hop on, ask some questions. This stream is for you guys, and going to be an amazing one like always. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited about this.
Definitely, definitely. So for everybody who has not heard about you yet and, not heard your story, how did you get started with all this and figure all this stuff out? Because like I've known you for a couple of years now and kind of seen the bobs and the weaves of different places you've headed, but it all seems now so focused on your zone of genius where it's really taking off. So what's the story? How'd you get started and what you up to now?
So, okay, this is like a very long story, so I'm going to cliff notes it. The most important parts are that I've been a tech nerd all my life. Like I remember my favorite birthday gift was an email address as a kid. I think I was like maybe 7 years old, and it's still like something I use like for personal use and stuff like that. And so I've always been kind of like a tech nerd. So I started off like freelance web designing and helping my dad with his social media marketing company. And then I moved into coaching online. I actually joined a coaching program. Like I was taken through the funnel before I knew what a funnel was, like the 3-part video series and all that stuff. I bought a coaching program. I got certified in NLP randomly. I got so sold on that funnel. I'm just going to say, like, if anyone wants to
really
funnel
good one,
And then what's funny is everyone in the program had tech issues. So I just started coaching them. And like, I started, honestly, all of this was kind of accidental because somebody's like, I will pay you to help me with this MailChimp code. I'm like, that's the easiest thing ever. And they're like, this has taken me 3 months to figure out. I'm like, 3 months, this will take me 3 minutes. And they're like, all right, I'll pay you. I'm like, okay. So people with a problem, urgent problem, wanting to pay me, that worked out very well. But over time, I've come to realize that technology is just one tiny piece of the puzzle. The biggest problem has been systems and scaling and automation and workflows and stuff like that. And I realized that just because people have the right technology and the right tools and the nice website and all that stuff doesn't mean that they'll be able to scale. And apparently, I didn't realize this, but multiple people had to point out to me that I systemize everything. Like I have a spreadsheet for everything. Like even my personal life is systemized. Like you should see my fridge. I have all of my meals, like my meals prepped or whatever. I have like spreadsheets for like what I'm doing in my morning routine. I'm like insane, but I didn't realize that no one else was like that. So I started.
We're all a mess. We all get these crazy entrepreneurial brains that are just everywhere.
Well, that's the thing.
So much momentum moving forward and stuff's flying all over the place. But we need people with your brains too. So definitely grateful that you're out there and you're supporting the cause.
Yes. Well, but the crazy thing is I hate routine and I hate structure, which is so funny because I shouldn't be a systems person, but I feel like systems give me more freedom to just be crazy and like not hold anything in here, not have to think about like, okay, what do I do next? Or like, how's this supposed to work? Like I set up the system, it works for me. Less mistakes happen because human error happens all the time, but systems work unless like the tech breaks down or whatever. And then I just get to chill out and be crazy and come up with ideas and be the visionary, right? So I think that's why I really love doing what I do, because I also am a visionary. So I connect with other creatives and people with ideas and ADD. I was like diagnosed with ADD and I'm like, whatever. And then and I can also set up systems for that. Like the people that don't want to be confined or constricted or put in a box, that don't want to like, they don't want mundane, boring routines. Like they don't want to be defined by that. And I get that. I totally get that. And so those are my clients. Those are my people, the rebels.
Love that. And the quote I grabbed out of that is, systems give me more freedom to be crazy. And when you think like that, it's like, okay, I'm kind of crazy too. Maybe I can do my thing if I have some more systems. I can,
Yes.
Yeah. It's so cool. Awesome. So just quick question for everybody out there in the audience. Have you guys ever run a group program, whether it's coaching or kind of like a course or group service kind of thing? Let me know in the comments, yes or no, if you guys have ran a group program before, or if you're interested, just type interested. Because this whole stream is going to show you guys, some of the behind the scenes on how she's running her group program, how she's going to take it to 40, 50, 100 people and really get it going and cranking it up. So I'm super excited to see, because, I've only seen some of the results of it. I've seen some of the people come through your program and like seen the stuff come out of it, but I haven't seen what you're actually doing to manage it and get them through and sell them and all that stuff. So let's dive into that a little bit. So why did you want to start a group program?
Oh my God, I didn't. I didn't want to start a group program because I thought that if I felt like with one-on-one or done for you, I had more control over the results that my clients got. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing a group program. I'm not doing a course, because it will piss me off if this person buys and doesn't get the results that I want them to get. Okay. Yeah. So I didn't want to start it, but then I realized that I needed to help more people with systems. And also, here's the thing. I've been working with a lot of 7- and 8-figure companies. And at that point, they've already started they've already scaled and they've already grown really, really far. And I've been coming in as cleanup crew, kind of like, oh, this is messed up. I need to kind of fix it, set up new systems, but really clean up what's already messy. In the most non-judgmental way. Like, it happens with everyone. Like, you know, when you're duct taping a lot of things together. Yeah. So I was like, wait a second, all of this is preventable. And if we just, get to the people before they start scaling with duct tape, then maybe I could help more people and also prevent the cleanup and the hassle and the mistakes and the money lost and the time lost later on. So I started also thinking about like, okay, how can I help 6-figure entrepreneurs scale up to 7 figures? And I started doing one-on-one, and I was like, dude, I can help more people with this. I can prevent burnout. I can prevent overwhelm. I can prevent really, really messy systems that I've had to clean up. And so I was like, okay, I'll start a group program. It was a couple of people actually told me I should start a group program. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this right. So my systems brain came in, and I was like, okay, how can I give people the most customized, personalized experience in a group setting? And I got to work on that.
Okay. So that was kind of like the big question. Then what did you do to start materializing that?
Yes. So the first thing that I did was I looked at what I was doing with my one-on-one clients. And so I outlined very, very clear milestones and deliverables that I was already giving to my current one-on-one clients, because I've been doing this for years. So I know the process like easily. And I also looked at the 7- and 8-figure companies, and I was like, okay, what happened between 6 to 7 to 8 figures that could have been prevented with certain materials or certain systems or workflows or whatever, or coaching or mindset shifts? And I made the biggest document of life. It's kind of terrifying. It's like 30 pages of just brain dumping everything that I could think of. And then I was like, okay, this is what I know, what I need to do, what I need to help people through. And so how can I structure this to start off with, just to validate this idea? So I did a beta program. I gave all of my one-on-one clients, I think like a 90-day trial. And then I enrolled a couple of new people into it. And I was like, okay, let me do a group call every week with them just to see if I can take them through this process and validate this offer and see that, do they even like it? And I also structured it as a monthly membership, because I don't personally believe in a 90-day program for what I'm doing, because you're not going to scale to 7 figures in 90 days. And if somebody starts working with me in 90 days and we get a lot of traction, a lot of momentum, I'm going to feel out of integrity letting them go without continuing to get to where they want to go, which is why they initially hired me. So that's why it's a 30-page document, because there's a lot that goes into scaling. And so I had my process in mind, but I really just communicated it in the sales and with the one-on-one clients that I brought in. It's like, hey, I'm creating this with you. You guys get to decide what this looks like. And I don't know anyone doing this, so I don't even know if it's going to work, honestly. Excuse me. So I did the one-on-one calls a week, and I had an idea of what process I wanted to take them. Everyone that joined was around the same place. And so it was kind of like a mastermind call. So each week I would check in and see, okay, where are you at? What needs to happen? I would give them action steps to do, homework to do. And I set up a software to keep track of those action steps every week. So they have to report end of day every Friday. They have to tell me, did they complete the action steps? What are their next week's action steps, which we set up on the call? And it's so easy because everyone is collaborating. Everyone is on the call, very present. And if I'm helping, like, let's say I'm helping you create a SOP, standard operating procedure, everyone else is also in a similar boat. So they're getting ideas for their own SOPs and they're writing down notes. And when I go to review them, it's a piece of cake because we're kind of copying and pasting for everyone. And they're just tweaking it to their voice or to their business or to their language or whatever it is. And so it just becomes a very rapid process because like I'm teaching that process right then and there and then customizing it for everyone in the group, but they're making sense of it too. And that's the other thing is I didn't want them to depend on me to get results. I want them to be empowered to do this work, to actually fully understand it, to become true business owners and CEOs so that even without me, they can do this and they will have that business mindset of being able to scale their business. And actually the group started in March and so far everyone has stayed. Only one person has offboarded and it's because she sold her business, which worked out.
That's amazing retention then.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yes.
Like, so for everybody out there watching, like, I hope you guys understand how cool, like almost 100% retention is. The only person that bounced sold their business. Like that doesn't happen, you know? So that's a feat in itself, being able to get somebody to sign on for monthly and then stay and stay and stay. And stay.
Yeah.
What do you think helps you keep that very high retention all throughout?
I think it's I think it's a lot of things. I actually should ask the group. I see Jaden on here. I should ask Jaden what he thinks, but
is he in there too?
Yeah, he is. So, I think it's a mix of the calls. Okay. So the calls are very, actionable. And I kind of joke with them. It's like I'm brainwashing them. Like I'm instilling mindset into them constantly. I have a long-term vision for them that they might not have, but I'm building them up to having that mindset and to having that vision as well. Oh, obviously, if somebody doesn't want to grow super, super far, they don't have to. I'm not like saying that. I'm saying like what I want for my clients, what my intention is. And that might be the biggest thing. My intention for my clients is that they are the CEO, the visionary, the creative. They come up with ideas and then their team executes it. And they are the overseer, they have an overview of their business. They can zoom into specific parts, but they're not executing and they're not working inside of the business. They're working on the business in a high level visionary strategist way. And I think that's the goal for all of my clients. Mad value is what Jaden said. Yeah. And there's also smart people in similar positions. So I try to pair everyone up. So now there's 2 cohorts or like groups within the group. And they have similar goals. They have similar pathways and similar things that they're doing. And then, so when I'm working on one person, they can all implement. So it's very actionable. I have a very clear intention. I'm consistently instilling that mindset for them. And I have their back. They know that. And I don't have to tell them because I'm showing it through my actions. It's like I keep up with their weekly check-ins. I keep up with their lives. I try to make sure and see what's going on. I think it's just I care. And I'm not saying that other people don't care, but I've even seen done for you one-on-one agencies, coaches not even do a great job. Like it's not that hard to actually care about the people in it and to like teach something, give action steps, hold them accountable, make sure they're doing the work, create community. You've done a great job creating community here. So a lot of people can learn from you. And it's just really not that hard to do that. And I don't see a lot of people trying to do this in a group program. I see a lot of like, hey, just like, let's do a 6-week program, try to get this really, really quick result, but it doesn't really lead into something long-term. And I really, really want that long-term success for my clients. They might not get, and look, I'll just be really honest with you. The first month is onboarding. The first month is a very intense onboarding because I need to know everything about their business to be able to give a good, I do an audit of their business and I give an analysis of like where they need to go, what's the first things they need to do. We set quarterly goals as well. And that kind of gives them the path for what the calls are going to be each week. And then I put them into their system squads is what they're called. They're a system squad. There's 2 system squads right now. And I just, like, honestly, I have the long-term goal in the back of my mind, but they start getting short-term results within 3 months. And I tell people up front, you're not going to see results within a week. You're not going to be in 7 figures in 3 months. That's just not realistic. This is the work that it takes. This is how we're going to get here. Here's the map. And you could either take it and run with it and try to do it yourself, or we're going to accelerate it. Actually, the program's called 7-Figure Freedom Accelerator, because I'm not saying that I know everything. What I'm going to do is accelerate that progress up to 7 figures and support them any way that I can with systems and scaling. Right. So, I think for me, it's my intention, but for my clients, it might be that my expertise and the people in the group, keep them in the group. It's been since March. How long has that been? March? I can't math. It's been over 6 months.
Long time. Yeah. and what really stands out to me about everything that you said there is it's just so client centric. Like, you're not talking about how awesome you are. You're not talking about all the money you're making, even though you are making a bunch of money, even though you're awesome. Like, you're talking about their experience 100% all throughout, and you're showing up that way. And I want everybody out there watching to understand that is like what you talked about the most. Is like, okay, how can I over deliver? How can I show up? How can I care? That is how you sell the crap out of a group coaching program and have people stay on month after month after month. So
and have them rave about it too.
Yeah, have them rave about it too. And that's so cool. And so you've got some big plans for growth, and you still will not be overwhelmed when you get 100 people in there. So let's talk about that. How are you going to take this from how many people you got now up to, 25, up to 50, up to 100 people, and still not go absolutely crazy?
Yeah. So the first step, and I walk my clients through this process. So I'm going to try to distill it down to like a quick answer. I had to do an audit of my time and what my tasks were. And I had to figure out what things drained me the most first. And those things are marketing and sales. I could do 10 hours of systems and still do 10 hours more. Yeah. I could do 1 hour of marketing and sales and be exhausted, especially.
I'm 100% the opposite.
I know. All of my clients are the opposite.
I'll market all day.
I know. You should join my group because then everyone in there is like, oh my God, systems. I'm like, yay. We just did an in-person event. I'm literally, they're my guinea pigs right now. I did an in-person event to see how it would go. And I was just like, all systems all day. And I'm like, are you guys alive? Like, do you need a break? And my videographer was filming things, and they sent me apparently I walked away for a while and came back, and they filmed something and I didn't know. And they sent me this video that was supposed to be a video of the event. And it was like a joke about like people on the floor, like Sema was on the floor laying like, I'm dead, I'm systems. And it's like, yeah. And this is supposed to be a client testimonial. It's like, yeah, Gatia tortured me with systems and got me fat from a lot of food. I was like, everyone doesn't love systems.
So you're going to run the video, aren't you? There's your next ad. Like, all your students and clients just dead. Like, I'm dead, but it's worth it.
Exactly. It was so funny. So the first thing that I did already is I hired a lead gen and sales team, completely handed off so I can focus on scaling this. Most people wouldn't want to do that. Most of my clients want to automate the client fulfillment first. I kind of automated it already, and I'm just waiting for the sales to come in to set up the rest of the pieces. So I'm a little bit backwards because of what drains me, but for most of my clients, it would be client fulfillment is the first thing that's automated and hired out for. So I hired my sales marketing team. And then the next thing that I'm going to do, well, I've already kind of done already. Like, honestly, all of this is already ready to go. It's the process that I take my clients through. And I have months of content now from doing these weekly calls since March. And they're all recorded. They all have transcripts. They all have timestamps. So I can start creating a library of specific trainings. And I already refer back to previous trainings. We did a training on building a company org chart, an organizational chart of like who's responsible for what team, like what departments are there and stuff like that. I had to create my own org chart for 7-Figure Freedom Accelerator to see who's going to be responsible for community management and emails and client accountability and stuff like that. Like I have the job descriptions written out for each of the team that I'm going to hire and when, at what point I'm going to hire them. So there's milestones for once we get to 25 students, we'll get this. Once we get to 40, we'll get this, and so on. And so I'm already referencing back to previous training. So I'm going to create a library of the common things in the processes, the milestones that need to be hit. That way the client can watch those trainings first and then come onto the calls and get quick speed laser reviews from me. Yeah. And I'm also going to be scaling it with the system squad. So there's going to be different cohorts, different people joining at different times with different goals. And those calls are going to be structured differently based off of where they're at in the process. And so I have, excuse me, I have a kind of like a chart that outlines what some of these goals are versus what needs to actually be worked on in the process. And I can literally just like look at a client in the onboarding. I'm going to get all of their information. I can look at this client and then dot them in the chart. And that gives me a clear roadmap of where to take them. And mind you, this is just years of working with one-on-one clients that I know my process and I know what it takes. And I've worked with all of in between 6, 7, 8 figures. So I know what needs to happen and what mistakes will happen and what bottlenecks will come up so I can help prevent them. And so that's how I was able to create that chart. And so I just need to plot the clients in the chart and just make sure they keep going the right way. Yeah. And so I plan on hiring a community manager for the group. They're going to be making sure that the client, actually, if you're in 7FFA, you're hearing this for the first time because I haven't told anybody at all. They get bits and pieces like surprises because I didn't promise any of the things that I gave them. I just told them I will help you with systems every month and everything else has been a surprise.
Because people are so clueless on what the heck that actually means. So like, I know I need it. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to do it, but if you can help me, do you take my money?
Yes. It's a lot of things. I've been like so there's different areas. There's marketing and sales, which we have to systemize. There's client fulfillment, which we need to systemize. There's time. Time is a really big one for my clients because they're probably doing a lot of things at the same time and don't feel like they have time to do marketing and sales and client fulfillment at the same time. And then team and project management is really important as well. Making sure you hire the right people to do the right things and making sure that projects are moving along well, setting goals, setting quarterly goals, and making sure that you're actually setting goals that mean something to you, which is surprising because I like when clients start setting goals, they're not used to it. And I think people think like, oh, I have to set like this really, really big goal. We set actually OKRs, which are objectives and key results. And if you can hit 70% of your objective, that's a good quarter. If you're hitting 100%, you're aiming too low. And if you're not hitting it, you're aiming too high. It's a clear system for goal setting so that you know that what you're doing is either improving your business or it's hindering because you're trying to do things that aren't realistic. Yeah. And it's across the team. So not only would my clients have OKRs, their team would have OKRs as well. And that way everyone is on the same page about what's going on. So really systems are just a set of processes to, one, get people on the same page, two, actually get more things done more efficiently. So it's not like this like complicated thing at all. So every week. Oh my God, no, it's not. Well, okay.
Well, to my marketer brain, yes, it is.
Okay.
But that's cool. That's why we need people like you. Because like, so that's the funniest thing I always see about like experts Because like somebody come to me with some like big complex like marketing problem, I'll be like, put that over there, say this. They're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, see, that wasn't that hard. And same thing with you in systems. Yeah, so it's cool. That's why we hire experts. You know, they know where to make the one little tweak that makes all the difference. So
that's true.
That's awesome. So hey, if you guys are watching this, you guys are finding some value, pulling out some nuggets, let me know in the comments. Just let me know something you learned, because we don't do all these streams to entertain you, as funny as we try to be. This is to help you grow your business and scale up a group program, monetize your group, all that. So let's talk about some more about that actually. So actually selling the thing, besides having just raving fans, how did you go about selling this for the first time, you know, getting people to believe in you and want to hop in and stay on for so long?
Yeah. Okay. It's really simple. I made one Facebook post and got way too many sales call applications. Okay. Yeah. That's really what happened. I wasn't.
Now you got to show us the post. You know that, right?
Oh, it's old, but I think it was January. It was a January post. I can probably find it somewhere.
Way back.
Yeah, way back. And I was honest with people. I was like, all right, guys, everyone wants me to start a group program. I really don't want to. Convince me otherwise. Apply. I had an application, or I said message me or something like that. And then I got too many people, so I created an application. Yeah. And then I had too many people apply. I'm like, oh my God. So I only got on sales calls with a few people and then enrolled even less people. And then for other people, I either referred out or I worked with them in a different capacity because it just didn't make sense. Like I wanted the right people in the group. So I would have rather had less people in the beta as long as they were the perfect people, you know?
Yeah. So I love that, especially that it works so well with one post and that you stuck to your quality standards. But what preceded that one post is, I think, the true key, and that's your authority building and your network building beforehand. So what did you do prior to that to build up your network, build up your connections, and get people to trust you so much that you make a post like that and they're all over it?
That's true. I've been in business for like 7 years. So I've just been consistently creating content, posting. I'm really big on Facebook. My Instagram's more personal stuff. I was also like on Periscope for a while. I think with Katia Barbanova, I did a daily Periscope. So massive content creation, just adding value for people. Honestly, like getting on calls and just helping people. I used to do these systems assessments, and I would just spend 30 minutes with people and just help them with systems. And then of course people are like, oh my God, this call was amazing. So-and-so, you need to get a call with her. And then I went to a bunch of networking events. I like did everything. Now that I think of it, I've done video, I've done audio, I've done text content creation. I've gone in person to networking events, to events. I paid for programs and like was intentional about being like the star student and like offering testimonials to people. I've done JVs. I did a JV with Scott Oldford. I've done a bunch of telesummits and webinars. I just like pitched myself to things. Like even this thing, I saw you make the post and I'm like, hey dude, I want to do it. Here's my podcast one sheet. You want to have me? And you're like, sure. And it's like, okay, cool. Like,
I was like, I don't care about the one sheet. Come on, let's go.
I know, right? So it's like, I in the beginning, I overcomplicated this. I'm like, oh, I can't reach out to so-and-so because they're a big deal. Now I'm like, hey dude, you're cool. I want to work with you. Let's figure something out. I collaborated with a lot of people. I have 2 partnerships right now. And so we're constantly referring to each other. I've built up my referral network a lot. Like I'm constantly asking like, hey, who do you know that needs help with systems or is overwhelmed or is burnt out? Most of the people that refer to me are like in crisis. So I just try to get on the phone with them and like be there for them and show them the way out. Yeah. And whether that's with me or without me. And then usually also to create content, I'll take those calls with people and make a video or make a post directly to them without them knowing, like just on my Facebook wall or a video or something.
That's one of the coolest ways. Like I found that too. People say like, oh, how do I, know what to come up with the content? I say, take those conversations with your clients, not record them, but take those ideas, those problems, those solutions, and make a video around it. Yeah. Like you have conversations. If you help people, you have plenty of content. So that's an awesome way to do it.
I have a lot of ideas. So usually my problem with content creation is I'm in idea overload and I don't know what to post first. And I found the post if you want me to share my screen.
Oh, nice. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So here it is. It was this simple. I hear you loud and clear. You want systems, I'll give you systems. I've avoided doing group programs for 5 years. These are my excuses. I was so honest on this post. And then I want to hear from you. If I were to create a group program that does this to get the same results for my one-on-one clients, if you're interested, message me. And then this was an Instagram story that I made about all of the things that I systemized. And it got a huge response of people were like, oh my God, I never thought of systemizing this. Like I literally have a monthly subscription for doing my hair and for getting massages and stuff. There's a whole list of things that are not on this list. Like this list is short. And then 56 comments and a bunch of people actually applied. And actually a couple of people I worked one-on-one with. And then a couple of people joined the group and a couple of people weren't ready yet. So I referred them out and they're doing a great job with other people right now and growing their business. So this was a little overwhelming considering I was not wanting to do it still. And it took me, you could see this January 3rd, it took me 2 months before I actually started the group. I was procrastinating it and I just wanted it to be absolutely perfect. So even if you're a perfectionist, you can do this.
And that's so simple too. It's just straight up, hey, you got a problem. I got some stuff that can help. Here's some results. Here's how I'm going to help. Let me know if you want the help.
Yeah, exactly. That's really what it was.
Basic marketing. See, you're a marketer. What are you talking about?
I know this. I don't enjoy it as much as like you guys do. So
one post all year. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll do live stream. I like things like this. I really enjoy conversation. Sitting in front of a desktop, having to write something is not, actually, I just hired a writer.
There you go.
So find your weaknesses, hire the right people to help you with your weaknesses or just things that you procrastinate or don't enjoy.
Through that. Love it. So you built up this program just through having an amazing network, having these referral partners, having that authority. Very
having
simple.
To run ads.
Yeah, no ads yet. That's so cool. And like, especially with your network and the people in that program being raving fans, you probably won't. You can just do the same thing. Hey, do you know anybody else that would want to be in here? And they'd be like, yeah, I know like 20 people.
I get constant Facebook messages. That's really where I get my leads from, or people reaching out to me on Facebook Messenger, like, oh, so-and-so mentioned you about systems, or like, hey, I saw this interview, or hey, I saw this post of yours. And then I'm usually qualifying them over Messenger. I don't want to do sales calls anymore. So I'll either send them to my enrollment team, or because I have partnerships for people who aren't ready or for people that are like 2 ahead. And so I might send them to my partners and like get a cut of that. So I also have a lot of affiliate revenue. So it's kind of like a win-win for everybody, because I don't want to bring somebody wrong into my group program. But I see a lot of people that are like, I want to scale my group program. I don't want to make money. It's like, well, what if you find partnerships that have the group program or have the program that's the right fit for this person, and you still get revenue from that?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Especially when you get so many people coming to you and you don't know where to put them all. They're not all qualified, or they're in a different area. Might as well put them where they should go. So powerful.
Yep. And awesome. Get a cut of that too.
Yeah, while you're at it. Cool. So what other questions do you guys have? Let me know in the comments. Because that was a really sick overview of everything, you know, how it got started, how you filled the pipeline, how you kept everybody on, what you're doing to make sure that you're not like, you know, completely overwhelmed if it tripled in size tomorrow. What else is there? Like, what do you want to share with people who might have an audience now and want to start their own group program?
Yes. My first thing would be, if you haven't gotten people results in a one-on-one program, don't do a group unless you're going to do like a really small, like beta test at a low price. Like, be honest with people. Don't try to like, hey, I'll get you this result, but I'm not exactly sure if I can get you that result, but maybe, I don't know, you know? So actually be honest with people. I knew I could get people results. I just didn't know what the capacity of the group program would be like. So I was just honest with people. I'm like, we're going to build this together. You need to give me feedback. Like, I was like, you give me feedback. You're grandfathered into this like very low investment. And as we grow, like, your feedback is going to be a very, very important to me. And then just go for it, because if you've gotten one-on-one results for people already, doing it in a group format, like, start small so that you can get that personalization and that closeness with your clients, and then start to see the common patterns that clients have, where you can either create a training for it, have them view the training and just come on to calls for reviews, or start looking into experts. And so, for example, I'm going to hire expert coaches for very specific areas that I see my clients get stuck at every single time. And so I could sit here and say, I'm the best, no one can do this better than me. Or I can find somebody who is actually better, like really zoned in on one area and is better than me in that one area, hire them to be a coach in my community and help me with calls. So that's actually how I'm planning to scale even bigger. When there's 100 clients, I'm not going to be the only expert. It's not the Katia Sarmiento group. This is the 7-Figure Freedom Accelerator. And so I will bring experts in that know, that are experts in their area. And I'm going to teach them my process too, so that they have an understanding of where I'm taking my clients and how I'm taking them there. And this is how I've seen coaches scale their group programs. So for example, a relationship coach, she has relationship coaches under her where she teaches her process, and she finds people that are really good in one area, like maybe mindset, or divorce, or like, I can't even think of more things with relationship coaches, but you know what I mean? Like you found experts in those specific areas, taught their process, and then let them loose in the community. And it's still it's still personalized. They're still getting the personalized, customized experience, and they're still getting the head coach. It's just in a more scaled capacity.
And they're getting more help from more people. And I think that's really cool too. Cause like those kind of the different points of view can be really big. Cause like I always say that to people. People say like, oh, I want to learn about this. Who's the best? I'm saying, here's a good person, but don't forget to, learn it from other people too. Get different perspectives, mix them together. Cause that's where the true expertise comes in. And learning a new skill is like getting these different perspectives. So that'd be really cool to see. And also that you don't have your name even attached to the program, that one day you're not even going to be in there all the time, so that'll be cool.
I might be, because I like it too much, but yes. What I tell my clients is that you're not trying to remove yourself from the business completely. You're trying to shift from I have to be here to I get to be here. So I get to be in the program to support my clients. I don't have to be. Right. And that's my goal for all of my clients. And some of the other ways, it's like I brought on a partner, and her name is Laura Thompson, and she's amazing with HR and team building. I'm really good at team building, but she's even better than me. So when it comes to that, I push for her to give her input. And it's funny because I like that dialogue of like, maybe if somebody disagrees with me, but we're on the same page about systems and team building, that we just like add onto each other. And I also encourage my clients to speak up as well. So if somebody's having like a Facebook ad problem and Jaden jumps in or Sema jumps in with like an answer, that's cool too, right? I'm not the sole expert in the community. Everyone's an expert in their area, and they can contribute to other people. I've had members meeting up together and hanging out and just doing work together, for doing systems work together, writing out SOPs together, right? I want to encourage that, because this is a mistake that I see a lot of people make. And it's not like a bad mistake. Like I started my brand as Katia Sarmiento, and that's fine. And like my business entity is still Katia Sarmiento, and that's fine. And now I'm realizing that if I'm going to grow something that's bigger than me, I have to have, it can't just be my name. And so that's when I started Reach Make Millions a couple of years. It's technically a tagline in my business, not an actual business name. And then the program name, 7-Figure Freedom Accelerator, I'm not putting my name anywhere on that. And I'm starting to separate the Katia Sarmiento brand and the Reach and Make Millions brand. And then all the other partnerships. I have System Save Me with Jordan Gill. I have Mastery Mode with Nick and Dan. And so I have all of these different containers. And I don't want my name attached to Reach and Make Millions, because I don't want to limit it to me. I want to bring on people that are also amazing at systems and hiring and scaling and stuff. And I want people to be able to contribute and grow together as a community, versus just because I'm the expert in it. Right?
True that, and I love that that sense of community within the paid program too. Like I've seen that in almost every paid program I've been in, especially when it's like a smaller group, is people have that that connection, that community, that support for each other, and that intimacy there, where they want to see each other win. They go out of their way to help each other. They make friends, and that opens up so many doors for everybody in there too, where it's not just access to you, it's access to the other rock stars in the program.
Yeah. It's the same thing for team though too, because if it were the me show, then it kind of limits me with my team, where my team has to do what I say and has to do it my way, versus it's Reach and Make Millions. It's a company. Every team member contributes as equally as I do. I might contribute like the vision, the strategy, the CEO role of this company. But let's say my marketing department, I trust them. They know the Reach and Make Millions brand, the culture, what my vision is. I trust them to make the right decisions in the marketing and the sales department to be able to grow that. And I don't have to micromanage. I don't have to be in there in the nitty gritty things, because I know they've got it handled. And I wouldn't really be able to do that if it were Katia Sarmiento. No, Katia Sarmiento has to be on the sales call. Katia Sarmiento has to do the marketing. Katia Sarmiento has to do everything in the nitty gritty. And so that's also kind of like a shift I've been having to make, in that I did it a little bit too late. It's funny because like all the things that I'm starting to do for myself to scale, I've done for my clients. And it's like, what? I'm doing this for them. Why haven't I done this for me? Hello. So, because I've had a lot of clients, especially like coaches specifically and consultants that were branded as themselves. I've had to shift them over. Even at 7 figures, they were still their own, like their name was their brand. And we had to shift them over very slowly, because you don't want to alienate like previous clients and previous team members. It's a rough process though. So that's why I'm trying to do it in a preventative approach for myself and really grow this. Like it's a movement, it's a mission versus it's me. Right.
Yeah. That's so important. Yeah. And it also kind of helps you detach a little bit and let that responsibility go. Where a lot of people kind of get stuck in that and they want to micromanage, they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to be in everything. Yeah. And we know that's not healthy and it's definitely not scalable. So while we're on that topic, what do you think is the way for people to move away from that? Especially I've seen that in these leaders that like their business is their baby, they love it, they love every little detail. And then when somebody else comes in, they're very protective, So like how can people step away from doing that?
Okay. So it's a lot of getting what's in here out on paper or on video. That's the first thing that I tell all of my clients. First thing is document everything that you do. I don't care how simple it is. I don't care how irrelevant it is, like document it and start just getting used to getting your thoughts and your ideas and your vision out of your brain and your processes, because everyone has a process. They just don't realize it and they just haven't systemized it or automated it yet or documented it. And when you start to document things, you start to get clarity on things that could be improved or could be done better, or things that you just never thought of, like, why do I do it this way? Why? Like, what's the point? Like there was this time where I went with a friend and my boyfriend to Waffle House and I was cutting my waffle in a very specific way. And my friend was just sitting there laughing at me and they're like, why do you cut it that way? And I'm like, okay, actually, I'd never thought of that. But now that you mention it, it's because if I cut it this way, I can first eat the crispy parts of the waffles, and then I can move into the soggy, like wet parts, and those are the best, right? And so I didn't realize that, first off, I had been doing this way of cutting waffles for a very long time. Yeah. And I hadn't thought about why. And so that's about waffles, but this relates to like client fulfillment, marketing, sales, managing, like everything in business. And I'm not going to say this is overnight. You can like tomorrow hire a VA and like outsource like everything in your business. Like that's not how it works. Like you have to have clearly defined processes and systems and roles in your company. This is why I build out org charts with my clients. This is why we build out client fulfillment processes. This is why we automate a lot of things, because humans can make more mistakes than a tool like a software or a system can. And so if we can automate it, great. And it's a very intensive process to make sure that we have the right information and that we find the right person to be able to use that system and run with it And then, excuse me, if we set this up correctly, if we have the right processes with the right people, we can empower these people to make it even better. And we can set them up for success in a way where this team member is responsible for, like, let's say we set a KPI, a key performance indicator of 100% retention rate. Now I want to keep my 100% retention rate. But most people are at like 70, 80% retention rate. Let's say that KPI is that for the client account manager. And the client account manager is responsible for keeping track of that KPI and making sure it stays above that, right? So they have the processes, they know how to take care of clients, they know where to walk through the clients, they know how to communicate, they have all of the processes, all of the project managements, they're setting goals every quarter, they know the vision that you have, and they know the ideas that you have, and they're executing on them. So let's say you go away for a couple of weeks for like a family trip or a speaking engagement, or you get sick, and this person has an angry client with them. Mm-hmm. And they need to keep their KPI up. So they already know your vision. They already understand the culture of the business. They understand that they are responsible for this, and they understand the processes and the parameters that they have because you've set those, you've agreed to those. It's not that you just delegated it and you just like, hey, this is what I expect. It's like, no, you had a conversation. You were a leader in your company and you collaborated with this person. And you're like, okay, this is what I want for this piece of the company. Can you provide this? And this person's like, yes, I can do this and more. Great. So now this person is empowered to make a decision, a key decision of what to do with this angry customer, whether it's like maybe provide an extra service or maybe hop on a one-on-one call with this client, maybe delegate to another team member, like, hey, this person needs this like ASAP, whatever it is to be able to keep that client, keep the retention rate, they're going to do it. And then not only that, but there's so much in the process and working in that part of the business that they can come back to you and say, hey, you know what? I know why this happened. I know why this client got angry, and we can improve it. I'm going to go ahead and set a project to improve it. And they go off and do it. And you don't have to do any of the work. And that's what I want for all of my clients. That's what I've had to set up for 7 to 8 figure companies, because I've had to shift them from just delegating to a bunch of people over to leading people that are empowered, that are responsible for certain aspects of the business and can, because then if you don't do that, then it's just people coming to you. It's like, hey, what do I do about this? Hey, what about that? Hey, this client's angry. What do I do? And they're just kind of like depending on you versus actually being able to sit there and problem solve for themselves, for the business, for you. And then if it's really a serious situation, they can reach you and they can get to you and you can help them solve it. But that's what I aim for all my clients. And with 7-figure companies, they already have the team, so I have to shift them over. With 6-figure companies, I like to set that from the start. This is how you set your team culture. This is how you create an org chart. This is how you document SOPs. This is what your client process is. So it's not overnight and it's not easy. Like you can ask Sam Al-Jaden, we've been working on this for a while and they're about to hire. But when we hire, that's also another process of making sure we find the right fit for this versus hiring people just because we're desperate and we need someone. Like we're very intentional about who we need, what they're supposed to be doing. We're bringing in the right person and they're set up for success at that point.
100%.
Yeah. I have long answers for things. I'm sorry. I go off on tangents. I'm excited about this.
That question was a whole podcast episode in itself.
I know, right? I'm like, because I could talk about this for days.
Yeah. So he says, brilliant. Yeah, definitely. So much good stuff in there. We are running out of time though. So just wanted to ask the audience if there's any other last minute questions. Let me know. I'm sure you guys are just blown away right now. I know I am, like usual. This is a really cool session for sure, because we talked about all kinds of stuff, group programs, high retention, keeping your clients happy, authority building, all this stuff. So if you guys have been paying attention for this show, this whole Groups for Profit Summit, everybody has their own unique things that really, really stand out that add up to massive, crazy success. So I want you guys to think how you can embody all those different pieces, even if it is just one at a time, even if it is one thing a week that you embody from each one of these guests. it all adds up. Like I invited on the best of the best for you guys. I know you guys have been enjoying it, soaking it up, and now it is time to take some action on it. So let me know, guys, in the comments, what's one thing you're going to take action on from this stream. I want to see what you're going to do up next. And yeah, also, where can people come and learn a little bit more about you?
Yes. So on social media, it's Katia Sarmiento across the board. I've been commenting a little bit on the live stream. So if you see me on there, you could just message me. I get a lot of Facebook messages, so give me time to respond. And the same thing for Instagram messages, but I always try to respond to everybody. It's just like, especially holidays are coming up, so I get even more messages. But if I don't get to you, my team will get to you as well, and they'll check the messages. They're helping me with that. And then also reachmcmillions.com. You can head to the website. I have like a bunch of content everywhere, so you can go on a scavenger hunt. Usually when I give content, I have like more time to give specifics. I was just trying to give you all that I've got here on this interview. So if you need something specific, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I probably have it. My team can probably give it to you. Or I could create it, you know? Yeah. Oh, you're commenting on those links. Yes. Perfect. reachmcmillions.com and Katia Sarmiento across the board. Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Good stuff. And when is the next round of your systems mastermind opening up?
So it's actually ongoing enrollment. So people can join whenever they want. And the first step is the orientation is actually what it's called. And we do a whole audit for them. That way we start them off at the right place, at the right time with the right people in the group. So yeah, they can reach out through Messenger.
Cool. Love it. I know I'm curious about it. If anybody else is, hit her up and we'll see what you keep going. All right. Thank you so much for coming on, and stay tuned, guys. Tomorrow we got another awesome episode with Nat Tucker, who has a multi-7-figure brand, fashion line, and an online course. Going to be an amazing episode. Big stuff, big players going on like usual. So thank you so much for coming on, spending some time, and yeah, appreciate it.
Oh my God. It was so much fun. Thanks for having me.
For sure. All right. Catch you later.
All right.